Hey y'all, welcome back. I apologize that it has taken me so long to start making content again, but I assure you that I have been working. This is my latest renovation. It is actually a horse trailer for a very special client of mine. And as you can see, it's got some pretty extensive water damage. The floor is just completely gone. The only thing that is holding me inside this trailer is the fact that it has an aluminum floor. But as you can see, it's pretty yucky. There's lots of mold everywhere. There's lots of water damage to the ceiling. No surprise, but this trailer actually had no sealant on the roof whatsoever, so it has been leaking since the day it was manufactured. You guys will eventually get to see just how bad this floor is, but I'm telling you, this is the worst that I've ever seen. As you can see, pretty small bathroom. It's got that corner shower. I've got big plans for this. That shower is actually going to come out and we are going to do some really cool things to this trailer. And when I say we, I really technically mean me, but I guess it's you guys too because you're coming along with me, and so it's all of us. So I'm going to start out by just cleaning out some of the junk. I need to remove everything in this trailer, literally everything. It all has to come out. It's going to be pretty extensive. There can be nothing left in this trailer. So we're just going to start with the basics. Now, while you watch me put a bunch of stuff in a trash bag and sort through a bunch of junk, I just want to say hi to all of my new followers. I am completely blown away that the last video that I posted got as much traction as it did. And I just want you guys to know that I see your comments and I see your love, and I am so incredibly thankful that you guys are here and that you're going along on this next renovation with me. I feel like the Lord really provided, and I am so incredibly thankful. And I know if you watched that last video, then you know that I said that the Lord would provide and make up for all of the hard work. Well, guess what? He did, because I have made over $6,000 off of that one video alone. And that is not including all of the new clients and the new consultations that I have been able to do. And so I am just incredibly thankful. Anyway, back to demo. Pretty much everything is going to come out of this trailer. It is yucky. And I just wish you guys could smell this trailer because you'd be like, eh. So it's pretty gross. I do not save any of this stuff. It's all going to go. Pretty much all of this is going to be reconfigured into something different. Now, this is actually footage that I filmed in April, and I know I'm slow. Y'all come at me, but it sometimes takes a little bit to do quality work, and especially since I have my 3 kids with me and do a bunch of other things and other projects, and I'm taking on other clients while I'm doing this trailer. It is what it is. My client is not worried that it takes me a little bit longer to do things because she wants it done the right way, and I 100% appreciate and respect that. So what you see me doing here is taking this old dinette out, and this dinette actually drove me a little bit nuts because there was like 80,000 screws holding it in. So just a lot of screw taken out. I'm going to be honest with you. And you see I have a blue bucket right there. So anything that I want to save, like hardware or this vent right here, I'm going to end up saving those. I stick in a bucket, and it's a whole lot easier to keep track of it if I know, hey, I put everything that I want to reuse in this blue bucket. And then I just go find the blue bucket and know that it's going to be there. Granted, unless one of my children takes it out of the bucket, which usually doesn't happen. So my client didn't really like the fact that this dinette right here was really short, and so I'm actually going to convert this into a couch area. But all of this obviously has to come out, and you see the plumbing goes through the dinette, so I had to cut a hole where I can slide the plumbing out. I will reuse all of that plumbing there because it's still really good, but most of that will all end up coming out anyway because I need access to the floor. And in case you thought I was kidding, I really wasn't. I am still taking out screws. I mean, there must have been 100 screws holding this thing in, and it seems unnecessary to me. But if you're trying to do this yourself and you're trying to get it out, just remember that most of the time they have screws on every single side. So it screws into the floor, it screws into whatever wall that it's attaching to. And sometimes you have to take panels off. So they have like false panels. If you take the panel off, there's usually screws behind the panel as well. I just didn't take the front panel off right there because I was planning on taking everything out anyway. So I just went and tried to get the screws from the inside. And as you can see, there's also a million little trim pieces all around this. So everything's going to come out. And as you can see, that's that panel I was talking about. You just separate that and then the whole thing kind of just comes out just like that. And again, not saving any of this stuff because it's stinky and moldy and gross and it's been sitting on soggy, wet ground for who knows how long. So all of this is going to go to the dump. Okay, we got one side out. Yay! Now I'm going to work on the other side and this middle little step piece. I'm not entirely sure why they put this step piece here. I think it's probably just because there's a couple wires under there that they needed clearance for. They definitely could have built it a different way, but that's just me. Anyway, all of this is going to come out. Also, the little step right there beside my right foot is also going to come out, and I'm going to rebuild that. Now, the reason they designed this like this is because under here is the freshwater tank. Now that tank is fairly large, which would make sense because this is a horse trailer and you would need extra water for the horses. But because they have the tank on the inside of the trailer and not mounted underneath, it kind of really limits what design you can have inside of the trailer when there's only just, it's like, I don't know, maybe like 8 foot by 6 foot, 7 foot maybe. It's a pretty small area. And they don't typically mount water tanks underneath trailers just because horse trailers are usually lower to the ground than RVs. So that's the reason why they kind of stick them on the inside. Now, along with everything being removed, there's also going to be a lot of wiring that has to be cut, and I will end up putting all of that back together in this demo series. And as you can see, the floor is just so rotted that just pulls right up. There's no need to unscrew anything. The whole thing just pops right up. Next is the water pump. I'm going to go ahead and take the brackets that hold the water lines to the floor off, and then I can just unscrew all of those water lines, and there's 2 wires coming to the pump, and I'll just cut those wires, and I will reuse this pump because I know that it's good, and it actually looks like it's been replaced once before. So I'm going to go ahead and save that and reinstall it after this renovation is done. And just as a little tip, when I'm cutting electrical, obviously you guys should know me by now, know that this is not on. Everything is unhooked from shore power. The battery is unplugged. But when I cut wires, I cut it so I can kind of tell what color the other end is. Because when I match it up, they're really only going one place, but it's easy to know what color goes to what. So I have the water pump right there, and then I also have the LP gas detector, and then I also have the wires right here that go to the sensor for this tank. And so really they only go in one place again, but it's still nice to know which colors goes with which because they're all different colors, so it just makes life a little bit easier. So you see right there, I'm going to cut it where the white is, so I know it goes to the white. And that was just one of the sensors for the water tank, which I will put back together after everything is renovated and repaired. Right here, you see me unhooking this water tank. I did try to drain this first, but the drain was not working. Surprise! So, thankfully there wasn't a whole lot of water in here, but I'm just unhooking all of these fittings that are on this side. It is a really tight space. So this was just super fun and irritating. That crinkle hose is always the hardest to get off, in my opinion. All right, so now it is time where I can stand it up. And as you can see, it's maybe about a third of the way full. It's pretty heavy though. And it does have the drain that's sticking out through the bottom. So I'm just trying to lift it up and find a way where I won't spill all of this water everywhere. And I think I finally got a good spot. It's kind of awkward, but I do have another spot that I have to unscrew right there as I turn it over so I didn't dump all of the water out onto the floor. So that's what you see me doing. It's just unscrewing that last fitting, and then I can tip the whole thing up just like that. And now I'm going to try to shimmy it out the door. Thankfully, it fits just fine, but it is pretty heavy. So you see me right there. I'm just gonna pick it up and try to get it out. And it is heavier than it looks, obviously. I'm just gonna let all this water dump out on the ground because there's no need for it. If the door doesn't try to fly open on me again, that is. And I will reuse this tank because it's not super yucky and I can just clean it and then put new fittings on it and put it back in. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, next we're going to move on to the kitchen area. So there's this little backsplash, whatever you want to call it, thing that's kind of yuck. I'm going to take all of that off. That is obviously not going to be reused because it's disgusting. This is the propane stove. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. I will be replacing this as well. There's nothing wrong with this, but it's white and everything else in here is going to be black and it just doesn't match. So for $100, I'm just going to buy a new one that will match the rest of the fixtures in the trailer. Now this has, I think, 4 screws that hold it into the countertop. There's 2 brackets at the back that you just saw me take off that kind of hold the whole thing to the countertop. And so you just take that off, and then there is a gas fitting right here. There's no propane tanks hooked up to this trailer, so I'm not worried about gas, but if you have that, make sure to turn the propane off. I like to disconnect it too, just to be on the safe side. Do use 2 wrenches for this unless you just don't care about breaking it. So you'll need one to crack the nut loose and then the other one to hold the actual, there's another metal fitting in there that doesn't need to move. And then just slowly work it up. Now you notice the propane line comes in kind of at an angle, so you'll have to work that propane line out. Make sure not to bend this because it is just a copper line. And if you bend it or pinch it, it'll restrict the flow of the propane. So just be really careful when you're handling those copper propane lines. So next we're going to go work on taking the sink out. In order to do that, I'm going to disconnect the plumbing here. Obviously, I will disconnect the water lines too, but it's kind of hard to show you that part because it's kind of dark in there. I am not saving this countertop, so I figured there's no point in being gentle. So I just take the whole thing up, and I actually get the water lines after I bang the countertop up because it's just easier, and why not? So throw the whole thing out. I've learned that it's just easier if I'm not keeping a sink, which I don't ever do, but just take it up with the sink in it and throw the whole thing away. And then there are some supports that are on the side that I'm going to go ahead and take off and replace. And then I can go ahead and start working on the fridge next. Oh wait, I lied. I got to take this one little itty bitty cabinet door off and then I can start working on the fridge. So, spoiler alert, I had originally planned to reuse this fridge, and I'm at the point in this renovation where I had put it back in and had everything hooked up and realized that this fridge does not work. It doesn't turn on. It doesn't do anything. So, yeah, this fridge ends up being trash, and that is that. So, I guess I didn't have to be as careful as I had originally thought when I was taking this out. But you never know, so I guess it's always good to err on the side of caution. I guess I had forgot that I needed to take these switches out. So this is it's the hot water heater switch, and it's also the switch to check the levels on your tanks and turns your water pump on. And so right now I'm just disconnecting the wires from the back and moving the actual switch part back around to the other side so this face frame is free. I will end up replacing these, but for now I wanted to be able to plug the battery in eventually and didn't want a bunch of wires hanging out, so I just put them back into the switch itself. That way nothing doesn't accidentally touch each other and blow any of the fuses. And sorry, I guess I'm not to the fridge yet. I just jumped ahead. I am still working on this, and I do want to give you a little tidbit of information. There are 4 little itty bitty screws where this sensor is for the tanks and that turns your water pump on. Make sure to save those screws. Please don't lose them. Because I have lost them in the past, and they are literally the only screws that will fit and make that cover fit back on. So don't lose them. Put them in the blue bucket, keep them safe, and you'll be happy. It'll save you a lot of aggravation. Okay, yay, finally fridge. All right, so this fridge is just held on by some screws. I think there was maybe 6 screws on the outside that hold the fridge into the actual face frame itself. So I am just taking all of those screws out, and then I can go to the outside of the trailer. This actually has 2 vent holes. I'm going to need the bottom one, but I wasn't sure, so I took both off. And as you see, I'm being a little slow and careful and sticking my screwdriver in there because I have been caught off guard and surprised by some wasp nests before. And I just don't like being surprised by wasps. So that's why I always check. Anyway, same thing with this propane fitting. Crack it loose with 2 adjustables, and then I just use my hand and untighten it. Now, there is a 12-volt positive and negative that's on the back of this fridge. There's one right there. Thankfully, it was dead. And the mud daubers too. It was already disconnected, but if you have that, go ahead and disconnect those 2 wires, pull it out, and then there's also a plug in the back because this can run off of your 110 system. So unplug it, and now it is time for storage. Now, one of the things that I really, really, really like about horse trailers is they have infinite storage in the back. This one, I think, holds 3 horses. But anyway, it's still a ton of room in the back that I can just store the things that I need to not get wet until I can use them later. As you can see, the fridge goes in there. Should have just thrown it away, but you never know until you get to that point. So this is where we're at. So next is just taking a bunch of these trim pieces off. I'm going to take this entire cabinet out and put this in the back where I can store it. And in case you're curious about the difference between an RV and a horse trailer, well, there's not much, honestly. They are all built the same. They have the same electrical, plumbing, AC systems. It's literally just the design, and that you can hold horses in the back is one of the main differences. But the way that they build them is usually the same, other than horse trailers are usually built a whole lot better because they are made out of aluminum, like straight up aluminum. The walls are aluminum. The roof is aluminum. They don't have a roof skin like some RV or most RVs do. Some horse trailers do. Most of them have aluminum roofs, which makes them so much easier to reseal. The floor in this trailer is just one giant sheet of aluminum, so that's why I can walk on it. I don't have to worry about falling through, which is so nice. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm a fan. So now that I have that one kitchen cabinet out, I did go ahead and support that plumbing because it's a giant line of plumbing. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on this furnace. I had originally toted on just keeping it there, but then I was like, I have to take it out. So I did end up taking the whole unit out, but this is just me disconnecting the ductwork, and I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the electrical so I can move those wires out of the way. So there's one screw holding that wooden block right there to the actual floor itself, which wasn't really doing much because the floor is rotten. And then there's some wire nuts right here. I'm just going to go ahead and cut these because it's just easier to cut them than it is to mess with those wire nuts. So I'm going to revisit that when I take that back out because, like I said, I had not originally planned to take the whole thing out, but I eventually did. I'm going to go ahead and start taking all of these cabinet doors off. This radio is going to come off, and I'm going to replace the radio. All of these cabinets are going to come out. This is actually the only cabinet that I could not salvage because the water damage was so bad in it. So I ended up just removing the entire cabinet and rebuilding a new cabinet for right here. I will be replacing this radio as well. And that is going to do it for this first day of demo. I have about 1,000 more gigs of footage that I am sorting through, so please be patient with me, and I am so glad you're here. Y'all have a great rest of your day.